internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. It has resurfaced again. Do you guys remember that tweet by David Schwartz where he talks about XRP cannot be dirt cheap back in 2017? Well, there were some individuals that were replying to him yesterday, and David actually replied to them. And in today's video, I'm going to break this down. And folks, I think we're coming to the end of this. We're really going to see institutional grade investors flood this market, and no one is going to stop these utility tokens from mooning, because once it kicks in, you realistically cannot stop it because it's actually being utilized within the financial infrastructure. Take a listen to this. There was an individual that replied saying, can you guys all stop suppressing the price already of XRP? And David actually replied to this, which is kind of, I find this a surprise. That's why I'm making a video on it. And I'm sure you guys are all going to find this very interesting. And David is a CTO at Ripple, and he's got patents back from 1988, right? Dating back, and it's all about DLT technology. And David replies saying, I hold XRP. If there was some way I could get the price of XRP to go up, I assure you that I would do it. And there was another individual, which we call the pigeon brain, as appears. And he says, and yet 7 years on, it's still dirt cheap. And David replies to this as well and says, last time I checked, 1 million worth of XRP still costs 1 million. So making a 1 million payment with XRP will still cost at least 1 million. And that is such a very diplomatic answer, in my opinion, in a reply to this pigeon brain. Because he goes on to say, but 1 XRP costs less than 60 cents. So it can be cheap, yeah? And then we have David replying, saying, but needing to pay someone 1 XRP is not a realistic payment use case. You see who we're dealing with here? Because only very rarely does anyone need to do that. A realistic use case is you have $50 and you need to get it to someone in Mexico. And this is him pretty much telling you, I love how he uses a $50 example, but we're talking about institutional grade. And you know how much they handle on a daily basis. It is trillions. And then kaboom, David Schwartz says, in fact, a lower price for XRP makes payments more expensive. This is why it was impractical to use Bitcoin to buy a house when Bitcoin was $100. But practical to use Bitcoin to buy a house now, worth that Bitcoin is much higher. Lower prices for XRP make XRP payments more expensive and inefficient from an institutional perspective. Okay, please understand that. And then we have another individual that says, so when will these XRP higher payments be in demand? Is there a catalyst that will drive users to the XRPL in the near future? And we got crickets. But given the information that we cover on this channel, we know the catalysts are around the corner.
Two major prospects. I cannot name it, but hopefully you will read it in the press in the near future. They both of them, and I was really surprised, actually it's free. And these are real, positively meant monsters of banks.
And things are going to get very, very interesting very quick. And what does this really mean? Okay, this is very important for you guys to understand what David says here. David Schwartz's point highlights a fundamental concept in XRP's value and scalability. A higher XRP price is essential for the asset to handle large-scale institutional payments efficiently. And you guys know that if you guys have been following me on this channel. 5 points here that are very important. Why the price has to be high. Liquidity and transaction costs. Global liquidity pool. Efficiency for cross-border payments. Scalability across different use cases. And reserve requirements. Number 1. liquidity and transaction costs. And this video is going to be a little bit different, but it's very important for you guys to understand. I'm telling you right now, when the value starts to go to 10, 20, 30 and starts doing some crazy stuff like backflips, people are going to be coming and watching these videos and they're going to be like, wow, how did we miss this? When XRP has a higher price, fewer units of XRP are needed to facilitate large value transfers. This is crucial for institutions that handle billions or trillions of dollars in transactions. For example, if XRP is priced higher, say at $100 per XRP, fewer units are required to settle a $1 billion payment, making the process more efficient and more expensive. Very important. So David's analogy with, Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was priced at $100, you needed thousands of Bitcoin to make a significant purchase like a house. Now with Bitcoin priced much higher, only a fraction of a Bitcoin is needed for the same transaction. So you're buying a car for half a Bitcoin, 0.5 and so on when the Bitcoin gets much higher. And that also helps with global liquidity pool. A higher XRP price ensures that there is enough liquidity in the system to handle large-scale payments across multiple institutions. The global financial system deals with trillions of dollars in daily transfers, and if XRP is to be the bridge currency, which we all know it is shaping up to be a very utilized asset within the next infrastructure, it needs to be a very highly liquid and valuable asset. Higher prices mean the total value of the XRP ecosystem grows, allowing more significant transactions to occur without disrupting the market. And institutions need to know that there will always be sufficient liquidity to facilitate their transactions. And a higher XRP price ensures that the market can absorb even the largest transaction without causing price spikes or liquidity shortfalls. So the system, rather, the pool of liquidity needs to be very liquid enough to handle and be prepared for trillions. Well, maybe not $1 trillion as one go transaction, but needs to handle billions if it needs to in a second, right? It needs to be ready for anything, any kind of systemic shock to the market it needs to be ready for. And then we have efficiency for cross-border payments. In cross-border payments, you guys know XRP acts as a bridge, not just a bridge, enabling value transfer without intermediaries. And XRP must have a high value to handle large daily transfers and scalability across different use cases. Banks and payment processors need XRP to handle various use cases: remittances, large transfers, or DeFi settlements. A low XRP price limits the network scalability as more XRP is required per transaction. So to pretty much sum it all up, for XRP to be scalable at an institutional level, this is what you guys understand, that word is very important. At an institutional level, it needs to have a high enough value to efficiently and effectively handle large global transactions without requiring massive amounts of XRP per transaction. And that higher price ensures you have lower transaction costs for large payments, sufficient liquidity for global financial system, and you have an efficient cross-border transfer at scale, and you can meet the reserve requirements without tying up liquidity. So in essence, a higher price for XRP optimizes the network for institutional use, making it more attractive option for global banks, payment processors, and other large-scale financial players. And you guys know, with the information we cover on this channel, that is what Ripple has been doing since inception, coming together, creating a network of trust with financial institutions across the globe, and they are the most attractive in this whole crypto ecosystem when you're talking about who they're partnered up with in regards to global banks, payment processors, and all the other financial players, large financial players that are the part of the Ripple ecosystem. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Very valuable video. If you guys sat through all this, congratulations. Wow, that's all I got to say, because next, the price of XRP is going to completely shock you. Like I said, jaw dropper. Get ready. The hospitals are going to be packed. It could be for broken jaws. It could be for sudden wealth syndrome. It could be for many things. It could be for individuals, bashing their head on the wall because they missed out on XRP or they didn't buy enough XRP. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with another video.
I think a fairly ambitious approach because we have 5 different use cases under consideration. So, you know, if you take some of the countries, they're just doing like one solution, which is replacing cash. With the digital lari, there are...
That's a similarity to replace the cash.
Yeah, it's a digital form of cash. Right,
yeah.
Exactly. But with this project, I think one of the distinctions about it is there's looking at tokenizing bonds. So retail consumers can get access to bond securities. Looking at tokenizing real estate. There's a payroll element to the pilot. And then there's an offline element. So this is when, when you have your mobile phone, if you have no internet connection, you can still make purchases. So
building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.